What if one day the government decided you might not exist? Not that you did something wrong, not that you broke a law, just that somewhere in some file, in some system, you stopped being real. And what if the only way to fix it was to prove something that you should never need proving, that you are alive? This is a story of a Martin Ray, a man who learned slowly and quietly that being alive and being able to prove it are two different things. The letter came on Tuesday, tucked between pizza coupon and a credit card offer. Martin almost threw it away without opening it. Government seal in the corner, official letterhead, and three short paragraphs. It said his file had been flagged for review, that recent automated audit had found inconsistency in his records, that in order to continue receiving benefit, maintaining his driver license, and remaining listed as an active citizen, he need to submit proof of his life. Martin laughed out loud, standing in his kitchen. He was 38-year-old. He had a job, a mortgage, a dentist appointment next Thursday. Of course he was alive. He called the number on the letter. After 40 minutes on hold, a tired voice on the other end told him it was simple. Just bring identification to the local office. It's a standard procedure, nothing to worry about. So the next morning, Martin took the day off from his work, grabbed his driver's license, his passport, and his birth certificate, and drove it to the country office downtown. He sat in a waiting room for 2 hours, watched the clock on the wall tick past his lunch break, watched other people called up one by one, their names crackling through an old speaker system. And when his name was finally called, he walked up to the window with a tired looking woman behind a thick glass. He smiled, slid his document through the slot. She typed for a while, looked at her screen, and again some more typing. And then she said a word that would follow Martin for the rest of his life. I'm sorry, sir. This isn't sufficient. Martin blinked at her. What do you mean not sufficient? That's my driver's license, my passport, my birth certificate. The woman behind the glass barely looked up. These documents confirm your identity. They don't confirm you are currently alive. I'm standing right here. I understand that, sir. But the system requires biometric verification or a notarized affidavit from two independent witnesses dated within the last 30 days. Martin stood there for a moment, certain this was some kind of joke, but it wasn't. She slid a form back through the slot. A checklist of requirements, fingerprints, a notarized witness statement, two of them, a recent utility bill, a signed letter from his employer confirming continued employment. He left the office with the form clutched in his hand, a strange unease settling into his chest that he couldn't quite name. That night, he told his girlfriend Sarah about it. She laughed at first, the same disbelief laugh he had in a kitchen. That's insane, just bring the form back with everything they want. It's a bureaucracy, it's annoying, but it's not. She paused. It's not what? Martin asked. Shara shrugged. Nothing, it's fine. We will get it sorted. But Martin noticed the pause. He would think about that pause a lot in a weeks that followed. He got the fingerprints done at the private service downtown. $40, 10 minutes done. He got two notarized witness statements, his neighbor Dave and his co-worker Priya, both vouching in writing under oath that Martin Ray was alive and well as of that date. He bought his most recent electricity bill, his pay stub, and the letter from his manager confirming his employment. 2 weeks later, he returned to the same office, the same waiting room. the same tired speaker system calling names. When his turn came, he slid the entire folder through the slot, almost proud of himself, organized, complete. The same tired woman, or maybe a different one, he couldn't quite tell anymore, flipped through the pages. She frowned at the witness statement. These won't work, she said. Why not? They are not rights, they are recent. The witness need to be unrelated to you financially, romantically, or professionally. Your neighbor co-signed a loan with you in 2019. That disqualifies him. And your coworker reports to you which constitute a professional conflict. Martin felt something cold slide into his stomach. How do you even know that? The woman didn't answer. She just slid a new form back through a slot, updated requirements. Martin sat in his car in a parking lot for a long time before he could make himself drive home. That night, he tried calling the number on the letter again. 45 minutes on a hold this time. When someone finally answered, they transferred him 3 times before the line went dead. He started keeping the rejection form in a folder. Within a month, the folder had grown thick. Started small, his debit card declined at the grocery store, flagged for verification. His landlord mentioned that his rent payment had bounced back as account under review. Then his work badge stopped opening the front door of his office. His manager said HR had flagged his employee file as pending status confirmation. Martin began to notice the way people looked at him differently, not unkind, just uncertain, like they weren't entirely sure he was who he said he was. Sarah grew quieter. She started staying at her sister's more often. When Martin asked her why, she said she needed just space. He went back to the office a third time, a fourth time. Each visit, a new requirement appeared, a blood test, a retina scan, a statement from his childhood doctor who had retired 11 years ago and could not be located. Folder of rejected documents grew so thick it didn't close properly anymore. One night, lying awake at 3 a.m., Martin caught himself staring at his own hand in the dark, flexing his fingers slowly just to feel them move, just to be sure. He realized with a kind of quiet horror that he had started needing the reassurance too. On his sixth visit, the waiting room was empty except for him. The fluorescent light buzzed overhead. The clock on the wall he noticed for the first time didn't appear to be moving at all. When his name was called, it wasn't through the speaker. It was a voice close behind him that he didn't heard approach. He turned and the same tired woman was standing there, not behind the glass this time, but in the open room, holding a single folder. Inside was a single sheet of paper, a death certificate, his own name, a date 8 months earlier, a car accident on the interstate late at night in the rain. Martin stared at it. This is wrong. This is not. I'm right here. The woman's expression was almost gentle. We get cases like this sometimes. The system doesn't have a category for it. A person who, by every official record, by every document we can find, died. And yet here you are, sitting in the chair, breathing, talking. So fix it, delete the certificate, I'm alive. It's not that simple, Mr. Ray. We can't just delete the death. We need proof of the opposite, and the kind of proof that could actually convince the system. I'm not sure it exists. I'm not sure anything would be sufficient. Martin's hand had started shaking. He looked down at them. They looked solid, real. He thought about Sarah's call, about the hushed phone call, about the rejected folder, thick with forms that proved nothing, no matter how true they were. He thought about the accident he didn't remember, the drive home he couldn't quite picture, that night 8 months ago. What happened now? He asked very quietly. The woman closed the folder. Now she said, you keep coming back, and we keep looking for something that will count, and maybe one day something will. She paused. Or maybe it won't, and you will just keep proving it forever to a room that already knows the answer. Martin sat in a small office for a long time after she left outside. The waiting room light buzzed on, endless and white. He flexed his finger again in the silence, felt them move, and it didn't feel like it. Some people spend their whole lives trying to prove who they are. Martin spent his trying to prove that he still was, and the worst part, no one could tell him exactly what would be enough.